What's up, y'all? What's good? Welcome to the What Up Doe Show. It's your boy Dame D.
And your girl Shawnee D. What up, though?
What up, Doe? Today we're going to be talking about the big beautiful bill. We have a few guests that's
Yeah.
going to join us on today's show. I'll allow my first guest to introduce himself to the show.
Hey, Joseph knows how everybody doing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And my second guest, you can go ahead and introduce yourself to the show.
Real talk with Big Dave. What up, though?
What up, though? What
What up,
up, though?
though?
First and foremost, I want to welcome everybody back to the show. Today we're going to be talking about the big beautiful bill, this new bill that Donald Trump just recently put into effect, signed into that he just had Congress sign into effect, I believe. But DJ Shiny D, this is something that I don't really have any questions written down. We're just going to kind of play off of each other. I've looked up a little bit of what this bill is about, so I'm going to give my input on what I think, and how I think is going to affect us, so I'll go ahead and let you start it off with the conversation.
Well, all I have to say is I wish others had come into the show because I had a really big dispute last night with someone who's probably still at work right now.
Right.
But because the way I heard about the bill, because I gave up the news because it was just too stressful. And you hear all these scare tactics. And so I just stopped listening to the news. And everybody, you need to watch it because it's going to affect you in the long run. Well, if it's going to affect me, it's going to affect me regardless. Everybody should know they got to start growing their food. They need to start saving their money. They need to start tightening up. And so when I read the bill, I was ready for all it because they make it seem like, oh, they could send black people out of the country and they can do this. Now let me say this before I start talking. This big beautiful bill is different than the executive orders that he's been passing here lately. So this is just about what is in writing in the big beautiful bill because I really don't know about all of his executive orders. But as I was reading through excerpts of the bill, it wasn't as scary as I thought it was, because just listening to people, they were like, oh, you might not have a job and you might not have it, and it's gonna cost you $45,000 more, and it's gonna do that. But I did not see that. Now the trickle down effect of it is going to affect me. Yes. Insurance prices, insurance premiums, um, you know, um, it really is going to affect me down the line. But as I read it, it just seemed like to me, in the words that were there, that they are really just tightening up. And I'm not saying that it's right. I'm just saying the scare part of it, like I need to be worried. I
Yeah,
need to be
that's just the Democrats trying to scare motherfuckers with those scare tactics. But go ahead, DJ Shiny D.
Yeah, and the person that I was talking to last night watches the news. They get their information from the news. And so I said, see, but it's two different opinions right now because you're listening to the news who has analysts and everybody kind of predict how it's going to go, but they need ratings.
Which is most
I'm just,
Democrats who's in the news
yeah,
talking about it.
yeah, what I'm talking about is how it read. And how it read, it wasn't as scary. Yeah, I mean, we got low income kids that are gonna have to worry about if they get to eat in school. He's cutting out, he's just making it tighter for everybody, just can't get it. It's not a blanket thing. It's not like he's getting away of lunch programs and he's getting away giving up Medicaid or Medicare. He's just, it sounds to me like they're just tightening up on it.
Yeah, listen.
It's not going
First,
to be as easy to
first and
qualify.
foremost,
Yes, SNAP
go ahead. My bad. Go
benefits.
ahead. Finish up, DJ Shiny D.
I'm
I'm sorry.
sorry, and I'm gonna wrap it up. But SNAP benefits, stuff like that, he's not getting rid of it. He's just saying if you are able-bodied and you have a kid of a certain age, which are at school most of the day, you can work 80 hours a month.
Right.
Well, why can't you work that? It's 2 weeks worth of work.
See,
And I
and
go ahead.
you listen, you hit it on the nose. Not to cut you off, D, and I'll let
No,
you come back in. I just want to say this before you hit it right on the nose. It's not. it's not scare tactics that he's using for the working people. It's scare tactics for motherfuckers who's probably been sitting on their ass that don't made a career, off of getting free assistance from the government. So pretty
Yeah.
much what they're doing is tightening up. You'll have some good things about it, for the working people. Then you have some things that may, your taxes may go up, but for the most part, it's going to be a positive thing for for those in the working class who work a lot of overtime. And at one point, Joseph, me and you, we worked a lot of overtime maybe about a year or so ago. So it would have affected us tremendously in a positive way. Now I don't know about now, because I think a lot of the it's a lot of stipulations, that's evolved in this, and then what a lot of people don't understand too, trying to do some of the scare tactics, a lot of these things that he's passing is only going to be in effect for 4 years, because once he's out of office, I'm quite sure the Democrats is going to change a lot of this shit back around like how he did when he got into office. So, I'll allow Joseph to come on in and give his opinion on thoughts, on what he think, this big beautiful bill is about.
The big beautiful bill is a promise that Trump made when he went to campaign. He's the first president I've ever seen that really worked hard to achieve what he says. Is it beautiful? No, it's not beautiful. Because as I read it, I realize is that there are some things in there that we got misled on, as far as the overtime hours. You only get a tax credit exemption up to $10,000 on overtime. So you go in and do $50,000 on overtime, you only getting credit for 10, and the rest will be taxed. So that what I didn't see that part. I thought it would be every dollar we make. So it only covers up to $10,000.
10,000, but it was all being taxed at first.
I agree.
So
But
it's
if
still
you-
a come up.
and you know what, Joe, and not to cut you off, but yeah, that was a lie. They kind of made that seem like it was going to be every hour, like you said, every dollar for dollar, far as overtime. So, and that was one of the things that I was going to hit on. Far as the working class, how it was going to benefit people who worked a lot of overtime. So now really, it's not even going to be worth working all this overtime. Will it?
Well, it will be.
Well,
It was taxed before.
Well,
It was
that's
taxed
true.
before.
So it'll just be.
I
the
mean, just
10,000.
think about it. So whatever you made last year, just add an extra 10,000 go back in your pocket. So it could benefit us.
Right.
But I will say this. Then you'll have the no tax on tip. Well, the no tax on tip is only good for somebody who makes over $25,000. You have to have $25,000 in tips in order for you to get some credit.
Right,
That's
and that's
all.
pretty much for the restaurant workers, like the servers and the waitresses
They're
and things
gonna-
like that.
The
Yeah.
poor people gonna get hit the hardest. The ones that work, they're gonna get hit a little bit. The bill is, I'm not gonna call it a beautiful bill because it ain't my president.
No.
At the end of the day, it's gonna hurt a lot of people in the long run. And
I don't think it's gonna hurt a lot of people.
it's designed more for the rich. The
No.
ladies benefit from it.
I didn't get
Yeah.
that from it. I didn't get that from it.
Well,
I
no,
think
it does.
You don't have to get from it. You just have to see what happened.
It does benefit the rich more than anyone else.
Yeah.
It does.
it does. But
It
I'm
involves
just saying-
anybody who makes over $500,000 a year. That's who it benefits more.
Yeah.
See all the rural white people in the poor white trash in the rural areas and stuff like that.
They're gonna still be in the same situation.
They're gonna get hurt because a lot of them gonna lose their insurances because a lot of them can't work the 80 hours because of their health.
Well, what was hold on, because if you got health issues that's documented that can be proven,
Then you won't be
those,
affected.
those won't be
Right.
affected.
Yeah.
And usually, and this is where I'm glad that Trump did this. It used to be if you had a child that's under 18 years old, you can get on SNAP, you can get on. Long as you had a child that's under 18, you automatically get Medicaid.
Okay. Now, for people, hold on, Joe. For people
No,
that
you
don't
just-
know what SNAP is, let them know what the SNAP benefits actually is.
The SNAP is
nutrition
that stuff. It's nutrition. It's supposed to be for the food stamps and anything that's related to the child. That's including school lunch and all that. So that's all considered SNAP. If you will know that.
Okay.
But I will say this, that you used to be able to get, if you just had a minor kid, you could automatically get Medicaid. Now they made it where you got to be if your child is over the age of 14 and you don't have insurance, you still can't get Medicaid. So before then, you just had to have a minor. Now your child over the age of 14, you can't get, you don't automatically get Medicaid because the child is a child.
Yeah.
And so listen,
So what you saying on that is the parent got to be working and have insurance on that
parents,
child for them
you're
to
gonna have
receive benefits?
They're making them accountable for all these
yeah.
kids.
Yeah, no,
Because
I agree. And that's what they should have been doing this years ago.
I
Tightening up.
agree.
On like I said, a lot of these, men and women, because it's not just women. Motherfuckers just sitting around, on the taxpayer dollars. You know what I mean? Sitting around collecting this money and not doing anything. You know what I mean?
And
So
they,
I think that was a positive thing. The
Who's
checks,
on,
the
who's
child,
on,
the
who, who,
go ahead,
who's
Dave.
on Medicaid?
Say
Who's
that
on
again.
Medicaid?
I
White,
was,
black folks.
I was.
Huh?
You said who was on Medicaid, or you said who
Who's on
mostly?
Medicaid more? White
Oh,
folks or black folks?
I'm always gonna say white because they got a
It's
higher
yeah,
population
it's
now.
more than them.
More white people on Medicaid, so it's gonna hurt them just as much, if not more.
But everybody think that SNAP and white Medicaid is a black thing.
No.
No,
And people don't understand
no,
that it's
It's a
more
white
white
thing.
than black.
It's from what they're saying, it's 83% to 13%. So it's quadruple, the amount of them on these benefits than us. But let's talk about the child tax credit. That went up a couple of hundred from 2,000 to 2,200.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was 25. It's not 25, it's 22.
Yeah, it's 22.
Oh, okay.
But that don't really change anything because anybody who low income get tax credit. If you make what we make, you're not getting that.
you ain't gonna get nothing.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's not really going to change. My thing is, I used to work at a group home for teen moms, and there were actually people who would give up custody of their children so that the state could take them and then pay for college.
Oh,
So
wow.
around 15, 16, when they out of control, it's easy to just put your kid out because the state is going to take care of them. They're going to send them to college, but they still coming to your house. They still, they still a part of your family, but you didn't put them in this program so that the state could pay for college, or they had a baby and now the state can take care of them like the state took care of you.
I don't know if that's possible anymore.
Oh no, it shouldn't be.
A lot more restrictions on federal funding, and some of these states is going to have to eat some of these costs on some extra things. So I don't see how that's going to be a thing in the future.
And they're going to cap how much you get. So it used to be when you have more kids, they would pay you more, and that's going to cut out. Now,
they put a cap on that now, I believe.
A cap on what?
But go ahead, Dave. Say what you were getting ready to say.
No, I wouldn't say nothing. Go ahead and finish your statement.
A cap on what though?
They put a cap on how much you can get.
So I thought it was how many kids you can claim too.
Oh yeah. So if you have
what is it, 2 or 3?
Three.
I think it's 3 or 4, but I will say this, that it's so no matter how many kids you get, you can have 100 kids, you still getting the same amount of money.
Right.
Yep.
See, and because they put a cap on that because you had women that had up to 10 kids, you know what I mean, that was getting their
$3,000 a month, $3,000 a month on food stamps, and then selling them.
Right.
Selling them.
Yeah.
Selling them. Because how many people do you know? And I'm talking about from your personal experience. How many people do you know that get SNAP and feed their kids nutritional food? They cooking for them every day. They making sure they get a nutritious, well-balanced meal every day. Because everybody I know buying Takis and
I'm gonna say most of you talking about most of the women that's living in the hood, they ain't buying no nutritious shit. They buying
right. They buying whatever they want to buy, but
non-nutritious shit. You know what I mean?
For the most part, you got a lot of people that do what they're supposed to do with their stamps. That really need to buy food with their stamps for their children. You got a lot of people that's selling them. You know what I'm saying? But I look at stuff different from y'all. You know what I'm saying? I just think the government, the state, they should get niggas whatever. That's how I look at it.
Oh, hell no.
People might not disagree. I mean, people might not agree with that, but I think they owe us far more than what we ever got. So
Yeah,
food
but if we went that route, niggas would be taking advantage. You know, this
no,
country
I
would be
talk about
ran into the ground so quick because of just that alone. You know, it would have
So
to be
let me
some
ask
type
you
of
a question today.
Go
Let me
ahead,
ask you
LaShawn, my
a question.
bad.
What if they knocked on your door right now, like in the next 30 seconds, and said, "Here's your 40 acres and your mule"? What you gonna do with a mule right now?
no, I
What
mean
you
you
gonna do with the mule?
with it. That's why it shouldn't be an issue with the stamps or the insurance. It shouldn't be an issue. Period.
Well, it
Why?
wasn't covered.
Why you feel like it shouldn't be an issue?
Because it shouldn't be. You know, we built this country. It's mighty funny. Indians can get casinos and all that. We the only race that can get nothing.
See,
And what
because
and they have,
I'm gonna say that. Go ahead, my bad, Dave. Go ahead.
farmers don't get the money they should get compared to the white farmers. Anybody want to look that up and tell me I'm wrong?
No, I mean
It's the black
I agree
farmers
with you
in
to a certain extent,
California.
but you know what? Most of the people that you talking about that got a lot of that, they fought for that shit. We've given up a lot of our rights for bullshit. You know what I mean? To be able to have a seat at the table. Listen.
Somebody,
I
you know,
agree with you to a certain extent, Dave, but I don't think we should just be getting shit just to be getting it because it's a lot of lazy motherfuckers that don't deserve nothing, you know, that have not worked hard. You know what I mean? It's people that do deserve it, you know, that people on disability and things like that, or people who are
talking about
not
ladies.
non-able bodies. But you know, you got a lot of people that made life fucking what's the word that I'm looking for that was on this shit for 30, 40 years, you know, and then, you know,
Mhm.
went from them to their kids, you know, on down, you know,
Yeah,
and that
grandfather.
right there just made for, you know, a recycle, you know, just a lazy household.
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I
yeah.
agree on
It's
that.
To an
going
extent, I
to.
agree, but I ain't talking about. I'm talking about there's a lot of people that get up and work and do the best they can, and they still are struggling because they can't pay their insurance bills, because they can't pay for the dentist. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stuff that
I agree with that too. Yeah.
No,
go ahead,
and I agree with you. Those people do
go ahead,
deserve it,
though.
but we talking about, you know, these motherfuckers that, like I said, been making lifelong careers on these SNAP benefits that
Yeah,
has not been trying to do nothing for themselves or those around them. You know what I mean? And
right. I
it's
feel
just been passed down from generation to generation. You know, and that's why, you know, that's why they putting the end to this shit. You know, it's money that can be used in other areas.
Because I remember a time, well, I don't personally remember, but I remember when welfare used to come and check your house. Just from like movies like Claudine and stuff like that. You couldn't have no toaster or no bread maker. You couldn't have nothing luxury in your
Right.
house, or
Yeah.
they would deduct some of your money. It is people that are now, and I'm not talking about everybody. There are people on fixed income, there are elderly, there are children who deserve to have medical attention as they need it. But for all these adults, they're going to make it more stringent to apply. They're going to be denying a lot. They're making the qualifications more frequent, more red tape involved, but they're not getting rid of it for children and seniors. It is just able-bodied people that sit up and they got fuller refrigerators than me, and I work every day. You
Yeah, I
know,
agree. Let's
I,
just say able-bodied women, you know, who's been taking advantage, you know, of the government for
but it's
years.
men too.
Yeah,
It's
no,
men
men too.
too.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to just be blaming it on men too. You know what I mean? So, it's
so
about
a lot
time.
of people
You know,
take.
they came to the decision. You know what I mean? Because
I,
we've been
I,
having to pay for this shit. You know,
I,
but don't get me wrong. You know, I come from a situation where my mom received these benefits. You know, to me, only thing that shit is doing is enabling that person to be able to sit on their ass and and just be able to collect this money and not do nothing. You're going to be stuck in that situation for the rest of your life. You'll never get out of that rut. You know, you'll just be receiving these benefits, and that'll be it. You know what I mean? Like far as just trying to prosper and live a better life. You know what I mean? So basically, what this is going to do is push those people who were just stuck in that situation and just depending on these benefits, you're gonna have to actually get out there and get it. You know what I mean?
So let me ask y'all this. Okay, being coming from the Black community, coming from the urban area, how many people do you know that are getting these welfare checks, getting SNAP and all of this, are working on becoming better people and better mothers?
The welfare checks. What do
See,
you
and
mean?
that's just what I was just saying. None of them. I ain't gonna say none of them. You do have some that try to, take advantage and benefit, but majority of the people that you were talking about, no, I don't see that many of them.
It's the ones that ain't never been taught nothing. It's the ones that grew up just like that, and that's just what they do. But it's a lot of people out here that work. There's a lot of people who do the best they can. They try to get 2 jobs. They try to do everything they can. And the minute they make a little bit of something, they want to cut the shit off or get
Mhm.
hardly nothing. And they still should give it to them. That's all I'm saying.
My
I ain't
wife,
talking about the lazy people sitting on their hands. That ain't who I'm talking about. I'm talking about there's a lot of single women out here that work really hard and they make a little bit more. They want to take them off the shit. They want to cut their insurances.
Yeah.
I don't think they're
well,
doing that.
well,
And as far
well,
as Bill, what you say, Joe?
oh, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you
I'm listening to you, man. You're right. I was just trying to. I was just agreeing with you, actually.
no, go ahead. You good.
No, I
Yeah,
was
but
agreeing with you.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I ain't talking about people sitting on their hands. I don't have no sympathy for people to sit on their hands.
Yeah, me
But I'm
too.
talking about there's
Yeah.
some real hard working people out here, and they still are not getting the help they need, and they need help. And so,
Well,
and as far as that, I don't know what this bill gonna do, and I don't know how bad it's gonna affect a lot of us or anybody. But we just
yeah.
have to sit back and know. But I'm gonna tell you what Shawnee D said in the beginning. Everybody knows what you got to do, and when you wake up every day, if you work or whatever you do for a living, you know you have to be responsible and take care of your business. You know your bills got to be paid, and you know there's things that have to be done, especially if you got kids. So you need to keep it moving and quit worrying about this and that with Trump or whoever else. Because when Trump got in office the first time, I didn't give a damn because he didn't affect me because I kept it moving.
Right.
mhm.
Well, go ahead and man, I'll let you come back in, Joe, with your
So, so here's where this has to happen because we have a 37, 38 train out of debt right now, and at some point now we have to start cutting. So I'm with you, Big Dave, about we deserve black people, for the things that we labor and how we suffer all these years. And I'm with you, but I don't live there anymore.
I feel
And
it.
I feel like now, this country has gave us opportunities to make it. You know what I'm saying? So we got the resources. I mean, I'm watching, we could have been got out of the situation. We're talking about, and I argue on Facebook all the time. I know damn you see the shit on my page. Where they go at it. You should send me a friend request, honestly, so you can see this crap. I go at it all the time because there's people they want this. This is a capitalizing country. People want this country to be a socialist country, more like a Bernie Sanders, where everything is given to you for free, and the working class is the one who paying for it. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of all the money that we get taxed is going into these services, and I'm struggling, and they getting assistance, but when it comes down to me needing help, I can't get it. I'm getting
yeah.
Mhm.
tired. I'm getting tired.
Feel you.
So
Because shit, at one point, we were looked at as the middle class, but since a lot of things have slowed down in the industry that we work in, shit, I need some assistance. I need some snap, some help. But will we be able to get it? Fuck no.
nope.
No, we
Let,
won't.
let let one of us let one of us right now get behind our rent right now or
It's over
mortgage. I
with.
guarantee you can't do an SDR to get our shit paid for.
Right.
Mm-mm.
We make too much.
No.
To
Yeah.
them,
So
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 my next question then, I
it's
guess, Joe, what does
good.
this mean for the working class then? You know what I mean? What does this big beautiful bill mean for the working class? Because
It,
like in
it,
the
it
beginning, a lot of things were not completely understood. It's only like you said, the 10,000 that, we will be taxed on overtime. So, so what does that mean for like I said, for the working class people?
the average family, the average working class that's making over $50,000 a year should be able to see up to $13,000 in additional money a year. So that's probably mean less taxes more at the end of the year as far as refunds. Uh, Based on like me have a 1099 and other things, I could work that to get a little bit more because I do have a side business. But I feel like this is an opportunity for us to grow. We should be able to grow now. It's
No, I
it's it's
agree.
gonna it's gonna it's gonna help us where we can save a couple dollars. If that would enough pay. Oh, but we're not even talking about when we buy the vehicle. When you buy a new vehicle, you do get your interest write off.
I was just
Right.
getting ready to mention that it's called the car loan interest deduction.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so and there's stipulations to that too. You know, and which I'm glad Trump made that. You know, have to be American made car
Yeah.
for you to get deductions on that. You know, so that was one thing that that I was glad that he signed that into effect. You know, that he will give deductions, but only to people who's buying American made cars.
And
You
that
know,
should be good for us. That
so
should be good
go
for
ahead,
us.
Shiny D.
It make you
No,
want to buy a car now.
huh?
It make you want to buy another car now.
That's what I'm saying. It's good for us and our job industry, what we do for a living. It's good for us. It sounds good to us. What we got to realize is that, like, Trump has showed us that he is a liar, and he will use underlying tactics sometimes to go up under what he said. He said something, but he gonna go up under it. He said he was gonna give us a break on tips and overtime, and we gonna get that. And people that make tips, they gonna make that. We gonna get $10,000 off of
Right,
overtime.
just up to 10,000.
People just thought it was a free for all every
Right.
overtime hour. Even like you used to could get a tax deduction for getting solar panels on your house. You can't do that anymore. He's pretty much doing away with all the
Well,
clean
hold on.
industries.
I think you're not being fair to President Trump, and this is what I'm defending him. And I am a Trump supporter. First and foremost, when he came into this proposal, all of that was on table. It was supposed to be the whole tip. It's supposed to be the whole tax. You have Congress that went in there and started putting stipulation in there because they had a hard time justifying the increase in debt that was going to happen in the next 4 or 5 years. So what Trump wanted all that to happen, but the Congress didn't want that because they was afraid and worried about the more adding to the debt. That's not Trump. Trump went in it with the right intention. It's our lawmakers who did not make that happen. They started putting these caps on
Okay, well,
things.
I'm glad you cleared that
I'm
up,
glad you
because a lot of
clarified.
people was going to think that, that he lied and went back on his
And,
promise.
and
Well,
ask me, and how do I know this? Because when I was at the White House, they told me this. So I'm not talking about what I think. This is what
so,
was expressed to me through the Labor Department when I was at the White House talking to his cabinet.
See,
so
and I want to ask you this question, Joe. And you were at the White House, and this was part when you got invited. Do you think a lot of this big beauty bill stuff is coming from when the Democrats was in office and you had the Republicans? They was naming off just all the expensive that the Democrats was paying for shit that really didn't have anything to do with anything. They were basically lying about, like Social Security, like they were paying so much to a certain amount to people. Just lying on certain about certain things that they were paying out to. It was billions of dollars that was paid out that was unnecessary. And Trump said that he was going to put a cut to that. So I think this is what that big bill, this big beautiful bill is. He cut back a lot of the bullshit that that the Democrats allowed to get by. A lot of people was getting paid off of shit that they shouldn't have been getting paid off of.
And not only that, oh yeah, 100% agree with that. What do you think is going on with Canada right now with the tariff? Do you think this is a promise that he made to bring all manufacturing back to the U.S.? So when he tariff and do all these things, people thinking that he just is winging it, and I do think some things that he's doing is winging it.
Yeah, he
But
bringing
I, but I will say this: he's making a promise to bring all manufacturing back to the U.S. This is how you got to do it. You
Yeah, I
can't
mean,
just say you can't just say build your company here in 2 years or you're done. No, you have to do it another way. Just like Carnival Cruise kicking us black people off, they're not saying we don't want black people on Carnival Cruise. They saying we're not gonna let you listen to your music, and we're not gonna let you stuck your boots to the ground
but
with the
but
fans.
oh
why
wow.
they
So when did that happen?
This was just recently.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
wow,
just
see,
recent.
that's another conversation we're gonna have to
Yeah,
have.
No
yeah,
more rap music.
yeah.
You can't have rap
Why
music.
you can't listen?
Wow.
There's
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? We can actually talk about that. This
I'm
this
just
is
saying, why you
Freestyle Friday, so we can definitely finish up
why
with this
you
big
can't
beautiful.
why you,
Go ahead, Dave. My bad.
I'm sorry,
no,
Dave.
no, go
You
ahead.
you breaking up, Dave? Go ahead.
Yeah,
No,
go ahead,
no,
Dave. We're listening.
go ahead.
You can't have rap music. You can't have fans anymore.
Yeah,
No more line dancing.
yeah.
Uh, they they just cutting down because it's so many shenanigans. I'm gonna tell you, when I see videos of the carnival cruises that are full of black people, it gives me anxiety.
I ain't going on no Carnival cruise. Fuck.
Well, you know what? I mean, if they
Hell no.
listen, if they taking all that stuff
I'm not
away,
gonna
you know what this
tell.
mean? Black folks just need to be able to put their own cruises
Listen,
together.
you're
You know what
not
I
going.
mean? Because pretty much what it sounds like is they're going to be catering, to a
He
certain
said he ain't going.
crowd.
I
So if we want to be
always
able to have our boots on the ground and be snapping and doing all that, and listening to rap music, we may want to
well.
invest in our own Carnival cruise lines. You know what I mean, or our own lines. But before we get off into that, I do want to ask you this one question, and this has to do with the big beautiful bill. Have you guys heard about the AI cameras that they're getting ready to be putting out more of those?
Well, they got robots and stuff that's about
Now,
to take over.
what is the AI camera? I ain't see
See
that
that,
one.
and that's what I want to ask you about.
So they'll have
I
face
think is
I
they're going to
see
be
it
recognition.
putting
on my
more
tablet.
cameras out
No, no,
watching
Yeah,
us.
face recognition. So they're gonna be able to tell who you are over the
Yeah,
camera.
yeah,
I
Like,
look.
exactly. Like when you
one
walk it. Go ahead, DJ.
one of the most embarrassing things that I see on social media is black kids running in the store, taking everything and running out.
Yeah,
So
that's horrible. But it ain't just black kids. You have white folks doing that
Man,
too.
this is what's pissing me off about all this topic. All I
mhm,
keep hearing is niggas, niggas, niggas. But see,
yeah.
they don't talk about the white people doing it because they don't show it.
Well,
They
but we
do it just
talking about it's called a teen
You're right.
takeover. They
no.
call
But
it
what I'm
teen
saying,
takeover.
like the Carnival Cruise,
Oh,
white people do just as much.
Well, hey, listen, us as black folks, we got to realize we living in a white dominated society. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So that's first and foremost. We got to realize it's never going to be equal. There's always going to be a difference. They're always going to cater to their people. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So once we realize that, I think we'll be a lot better. We'll start doing things like I said, getting our own cruise lines, and things like that, and
Mm-hmm.
start separating ourselves, from certain things that we do with them, I should say.
but
So
some
yeah,
things I agree with. Some things I agree with. I agree with, if you under 21, you got a curfew. If I agree with some of that stuff because, it's detrimental to everybody. I don't want to be
yes,
sitting there with my child and you playing some music that's degrading to women,
right,
Yeah.
especially if I don't come from that culture and I'm on vacation.
right,
So I understand some of the things. And the one thing black people have to realize is that we're not talking about white people, we're saying races. Racists white racists don't like to see us commune and have a good time and party and laugh. They don't
right,
like that.
right.
And they're always going to, you could be out having a barbecue. And if a racist walk by, he's gonna cause some problems, if he can. So that's what I'm saying. Like, they just don't like us together. And that damn line dancing, I ain't never seen so many black people get up to go do a dance. And I'm sure that makes some white people nervous. So
Well,
Carnival Cruise,
let me say this. I disagree with you on this.
sure.
So I know that white people don't like to see us having fun, but niggas don't either.
I mean,
And I,
No, I don't agree with that. I think niggas in there.
no, that's but
It's
listen,
niggas in there.
that's always that's
It's
always
not
going to
that.
be a fact with us because we've been going through this from the day of time. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know no better. A lot of us don't know no better, and a lot of us that do know better, we try to teach the ones that don't know no better, and they don't want to hear it. So this been going
So,
on forever.
so
So
why not make some restrictions?
and
I
they just
go
have
on Carnival Cruise anyway. I'm just
well, they
not.
have found a way
I'm
to
on a
turn
cruise
us
once or
against.
twice a year. Carnival. Me and my wife twice a year.
Yeah, no, listen, I agree. There should be stipulations. You shouldn't, because most of those cruises,
Well,
they
if you
probably
got
took the black. I'm not gonna say they probably took over the cruises, but just like how DJ Shiny D was saying, it's probably certain music that people probably didn't want to hear. You on vacation with your family, and not just white folks. It's probably some black folks that don't want to hear a lot of that shit. You see what I'm saying? That was being broadcasted or being played out there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I agree with some of the stuff. The curfew, yes, because it's going to cut down on violence. After a certain
because it's a
time of the day.
liability. It's a liability. It's
Yes.
a
I don't mind
liability.
I don't mind the curfew because I had a curfew coming up. You know what I'm saying? We had to be in at a certain time. What? It's 9 o'clock, something like
Street
that.
lights. Street lights.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't mind the curfew. I don't mind the curfew. The curfew is not a problem, and I don't mind if it's people on there with little kids that you don't play certain music. Okay, I can agree to that, but you ain't gonna tell me I can't play this. So fuck the carnival.
Well,
Wait,
hold on. What?
wait. They can tell you that you can't what? I didn't hear that part.
No, I said you're not gonna tell me you're gonna cut music that I like because you think it creates a problem. So
Yeah,
I don't
no,
need to.
that's what they're saying. They saying you can't bring an extra speaker no more. You can't save seats all damn day because you want to sleep to 3 o'clock
Well, that's
and
not a
you
black
wake up
thing.
at five o'clock.
That's a everybody problem.
Right.
Yeah, that is everywhere I go has been an issue, but they're just saying that you can't save seats all day.
So
Why
so
you?
do you think so DJ Shiny D, do you think a lot of that stuff is targeting black folks then?
Yes,
Okay.
I do, and I'm gonna tell you because what they're doing, and I'm not saying that it's right. I don't want you to think that I'm taking Carnival side in this, but what I am saying is it's going to weed out the riffraff.
No,
And
I
that's what
agree.
Hey,
they're doing, is they're weeding out the riffraff, and that's okay. They're not telling black people they don't want your money, but these are the things that we notice when this is around, when
Right.
this is in the environment, and we're cutting that out. Black people are more than welcome. If black people say today we're not
White
right,
people slick.
huh?
They slick and they sneaky. They
who?
slick and they sneaky. That's just like
But
the
who ain't? Niggas out too. Niggas
Right.
that's just like the mayor of Dearborn told niggas, and this is what make me mad about niggas. We don't want you out here. He
Mm.
came on the news and said it, and niggas still was going out there.
Going where? Dearborn?
They're Fairlane.
Oh, Fairlane.
This
Yeah. I don't
happened
go. I don't go
years
anymore.
ago.
I haven't been in
Yeah.
Fairlane years.
That motherfucker came on the news and said he don't want us out at Fairlane Mall. And niggas was still going. See, this is what make me mad with our race. When they
Okay.
tell us they don't want our money, Tommy Boy figure, what is Tommy Hill figure? Told us
He
he
said it. He said he didn't make it for us.
yeah.
Right.
So every time one of these motherfuckers tell us that, we still go spend our money with them, and we wonder why we don't have no down capital.
Gucci
Right.
to the
See,
same
Spend the most
thing.
money.
and
Prada, all them niggas the same thing.
it goes back to what I was saying, Dave, with the carnival, with the whole Carnival Cruise thing, with them taking away the certain music and
I
the
agree.
certain stipulations. We have to we have to finance our own shit. You know what I mean?
I
You know,
agree.
and this
I,
goes with
I,
the whole clothing thing, just like what Tommy Hilfiger said he didn't want niggas wearing it. You had what's his name? Russell Simmons came out with a clothing line. So we have to have people that capitalize on situations like that, and bring our own shit to the table. But go ahead, Joe.
well, I'm on Carnival Cruise once or twice a year, and I'm a defender of black people on this one. I ain't been on one yet, and this probably me and my wife fifth cruise in the last 3 years. I could probably we going to September too. I can promise you that I ain't never see a black person act a fool. Now, what bothers me is the goddamn kids, but it ain't black folks. We know, for the most part, I'm saying we conduct ourselves. Yeah, a little twerking, dancing, little blackness, but I haven't seen where someone acting a fool and losing their mind.
So
Not the
so
cruise ships, not the cruise ships I've been on. And
so
I've been
what
on
seems to
like
be the
this is our
problem
fifth
then?
one now.
What's the problem you think, Shiny, DJ
The,
Shiny D?
I'll tell you, I know the problem is.
What's the problem, Joseph?
It's the main problem, and it's gonna be the main problem. And it's two problems. One is that they got a drink package on those cruise ships where you can pay for unlimited drinks up to 15, which is unlimited because if you're drinking 15 hard drinks, you're gonna be done.
Right.
But it's 15, which is unlimited drink package, up to 15. So the unlimited drink package the whole time you're there, and you drink as much as you want.
Right.
That's what I think is the problem. Carnival don't want to address that problem because if you do, it's going to take revenue out their pocket. Then you got cruise ships, which is Carnival, and Royal Caribbean having some issues too now. But Carnival is having issues because it seems like our ship is more affordable. So people who make a little money, it fits all budgets. So if you poor, you can still get on the ship. You might have to get the lowest seat or room.
Right.
There's space for all budgets to go on Carnival, and they are attracting some of the niggas, or I ain't gonna say niggas. Let me just say stop saying that. Even though that's my word to use.
Some of the lower class black folks.
Yeah.
These YNs.
Right.
So no, it's not YN. No, it's not YNs either, because these are grown folks that be on these ships fighting. If you look at these videos, these are grown, overgrown folks fighting, and women fighting. Most of these fights are led by women. If you ever look at all those fights.
Right.
But you got people. So Corey Holcomb said this, and he made a good point. I said this on my page, whatever. You just can't take niggas everywhere.
Right. I agree.
If they don't own nothing, you can't take them. Because because like for me and you, we own some shit. So we when we tear up something, we're gonna feel bad about it. We're gonna try to make it right.
Exactly.
Niggas don't give a damn.
Or on the other hand, when you own some shit, you're gonna take pride. Niggas, they're not gonna take pride in your shit.
Yeah,
they're gonna tear your shit up.
Right. But what I said to you and Joseph the other day, I said you can talk to black people, but not niggas.
But niggas is going because they made it affordable for niggas. Right. So what I'm mad, I don't like what Carnival Cruise is doing. I understand what they're doing, but I don't like it. Why? Because I feel like if you want to weed out some of them niggas are going, you could just make the price a little higher.
Right. See, so at the end of the day, you think it's more of
the music is not going to stop this from happening.
Right. You think it's more of the drinking, the drinking problem, the unlimited drinking is an issue.
Package is the main problem. Okay. You cut that down, you figure a way around. That is when you stop it. It's the drinking. Most people act the fool when they get the drinks in their hand.
Right. I agree.
Well, these broke niggas, these broke YNs and ONs and whatever. these ends.
That's a good one. ONs.
ONs. I'm talking about ONs.
I'm gonna start using that one.
Yeah. They first of all, a lot of people can't afford an unlimited drink package.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I can't afford it. I don't buy it.
They're expensive.
Never have.
So I don't even think it's that per se. To me, when I see those cruises, it just looked like a lot in one spot. Like these where they doing the boots on the ground and all that takeoff voyage thing party. It's a lot of people in one, and you got a lot of climates and a lot of temperatures and all of that. Calming down the music is a big deal. Because I like, even when I'm on my way to work, I can't listen to no Tupac or no Biggie, because that's gonna put me in a certain state of mind. Somebody say something to me, I gotta listen to Sade.
Right. Hey, listen, I just talked about that the other day on my show, LaShawn. I said music is the #1 most influential thing on this planet. It will put you to take you from one mood to another. You know what I mean? So I agree with y'all 100%. It probably has a little bit of both to do with everything, the music and the drinking.
Some music, I mean, everybody different strokes for different strokes. Folks, because some people can listen to that and that make them feel good, and they're gonna go to work and work hard. Some people need to listen to jazz on their way to work, or like you said, Sade. It's about the person. It's always about the person, because everybody ain't gonna let the music take them on another level.
I just feel like if I'm singing, if I'm on my way to work and I got conflict with anybody at work, and I'm singing, these bitches ain't shit. If my homies can't have none, fuck these hoes.
Yeah.
And singing that on my way.
That mean you looking for more anyway. Because you going to work, it's time to get your mind right. But at the end of the day, I agree with you and Joseph. I think Joseph make the bigger point though, as far as the carnival, because some people, Shiny D, and I agree with you to a degree with the music, especially if it's younger on there. But most people, when they going on these cruises, Even the broke motherfuckers find a way to save that money, and find a way to get that money to get that package, because the first thing they be saying, I'm getting fucked up on that.
I'm getting towed up.
That's the first thing come out their mouth, because that trip ain't shit if you can't drink the way you want.
Yep. And I'm on these cruise a lot. They drink a lot.
Time, they gotta get fucked up.
See, then you gotta remember, niggas gonna find a way to sneak their own drinks on the boat anyway.
You know, he's right about that. I'm telling you right now.
Because we had a cruise that we were going on this past November, which I canceled the cruise, because we ended up getting laid off. But, we had figured out ways how to, I was listening to ways on how to, get drinks on the cruise. So trust me, they getting them drinks on the cruise, So, but yeah, I need for you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share the channel. We've getting close to our goals over here. This has been a good conversation. This is Freestyle Friday, so we just talking about a little bit of everything today. Go ahead, Joe.
Just with the clean bill, it's not perfect. I think it's going in a direction where we are addressing some of these tax issues with people. This is the big beautiful bill. It's not a tax reform. It's just extending some of the tax things that Trump did in his first election. So when he made these tax cuts in 2016, that was for us. That wasn't for us. That was just him extending his original agenda in 2016 and added a little bit more. But I know that Big Dave, you said that Trump is not your president, but he's the first president. Now you got to go back to all these presidents that's actually trying to fulfill what he's saying. Whether it's perfect or not, he is trying. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that in Obama. I haven't seen that in Biden. I haven't seen that in salad dressing Harris. I haven't seen it in no other president that actually went in there and tried to do his agenda. But Trump is the only one I've seen do this.
Not to cut you off, but Obama didn't have a chance because he had all Republican Congress.
I disagree with you.
Yeah, I was gonna say he had 8 years to get some shit.
He had a chance. He had to.
No,
he did.
One thing he did do is he brought in a lot of this homosexual stuff in.
You ain't gonna put that on Obama.
That's on Obama. That's on Obama. That's on
Y'all
Obama.
ain't gonna put that on Obama because
they put a black face on it. He allowed that shit to go down on his watch.
Half of the Senate in the House is gay, so y'all ain't gonna put that on Obama. It was gonna come in. It was gonna come anyway if he did it or didn't do it.
That's the only thing that he did or didn't do. Obama had 8 years to help change some things that's been suppressed by people.
And did nothing.
He didn't have 8 years because you cannot change nothing when everybody's telling you no.
I get it. So that's the same thing that I said when Biden was in office, where he couldn't change immigration.
Have you ever seen a
Trump
white
got in
president
office and changed immigration in 3 months? And
have you ever seen a white president disrespected by the House of Senate when a white man come out and call him a liar on national TV?
I said it with Trump every damn day.
No, Trump is. I agree with Shawnee D on this. Trump is a damn liar, and he's the devil. He's a bad businessman, and he's full of shit.
You don't think Biden and Obama was liars?
No. Well, let's say this: that
I can name a whole bunch of things they lie about.
Well, Trump
Obama and the people that couldn't afford cell phones, they got them when Obama got in office. Unemployment was stretched.
None of that changed anything.
Huh?
No,
none of that changes anything.
But what is Trump changing?
He changed a lot right now.
No, he's not changing. He finna affect some lives.
Yes, and they need to be affected. If you're not a U.S. citizen, you shouldn't be in this country. So you need to be out this country. So I'm for.
He's a minority.
No,
they didn't ship his father. They ship him back.
He's a U.S. No, well, hold on. He's a United States citizen, but naturally,
where's his birth certificate?
He is not an immigrant.
Now, who y'all talking about?
Trump is a minority.
You cannot be an immigrant in the president of the United States. You have to be a U.S. born citizen.
Right.
Trump's father and them was immigrants and minorities.
Well, we didn't talk about that. We talk about Trump.
I'm saying he was born. He was not. Listen, Trump. Where's his birth certificate? Trump is good with just talking for his base. Trump is a liar. He's full of it. And Trump is going to really damage some stuff before he get out of here. He knows what he's doing is a revenge game. Now, some of the things for working people, to like you said, some things that y'all have got breaks on, but watching the long run, it's going to hurt a lot of people. Watch what I tell you.
Okay, okay. Well,
I
look,
don't think
look, Joe. Before you go ahead. I'll let you say your piece, and then I'll go ahead. Sorry about that.
listen, I'll say this that there's no policy that a president does that doesn't affect everyone. And it's whatever policy that any president ever put him on forth, it affects you. It's going to affect some good. It's going to affect some bad. There won't be a policy in the world that won't happen like that. It's always going to have some positives and some negatives to it. Some going to get affected and some don't. But
So what president? Who is the last president to have the House and the Senate in their party?
Obama.
Yeah, I was about to say Obama.
When Obama got
And that
in
was
there
his
first,
last. That was his last term.
he had the first 2 years, the 6 years, it was all Republicans.
Yeah, but his last term, he had the
No,
Democrats ran the House.
No, he had all Republicans. Look it up. He
Oh,
had
we
the
can look it
first
up.
two-
His last term, the Democrats ran the House.
No,
They had more seats.
I'm about to look it up.
Yeah, look it up.
look it up.
You know, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm gonna give my opinion, and then I'll let
Trump
everybody
got the
give
House.
their last words on that. You know, at the end of the day, I think this big beautiful bill is going to benefit, you know, everybody. You know, the working class is going to benefit the seniors somewhat. You know, and what a lot of people got to remember, you know, and you got to remember this too, Shiny.
It's not going to affect the seniors as much as people think it is.
Right, it's not. You know, it's going to benefit them a little bit. You know, with the boost. You know, but at the end of the day, you know, a lot of this stuff will only be in effect for 4 years unless the Democrats extend it. You know, once Trump is out of office. You know, so that's what a lot of people got to remember. You know what I mean? These are things that more than likely the Democrats, once they retake office, a lot of change is going to come back. You know, so Big Dave, give me your last words on you know this big bill. You know, and everything we talked about.
Like I said, at the end of the day, some are going to benefit mainly the rich, and the poor is going to suffer the most. The middle class is no middle class because Trump don't want it to be a middle class, and the workers are the middle class. Trump don't want it. He want poor and he want rich. That's what I believe, and that's what I stand on.
I disagree with that, but I'll let you finish.
I'm done, Joe.
Okay, well, Joe, go ahead, Joe. Give everybody your last word.
Actually, Trump do want the middle class because the middle class was when the country was doing it as economically best is when we did have a middle class. We realized that the rich and poor doesn't work anymore. We see what is that. So he wants to bring a middle class back. That's why he's bringing back all these jobs. He's bringing back all these manufacturing jobs because the blue collar workers was the middle class.
Or the middle class, right?
And that's when the country was at its highest economically. So I disagree with you. Trump do want the middle class. That was said to me. That's what the agenda is. That's what Trump wants. He wants the middle class back. That's why he's fighting for blue collars like us.
Right. See, and I'm gonna give you the last words too. But see, before you talk, Shiny, I got to say this: people got to remember, before Trump started this term, we were on the downfall. We were all getting laid off. You know, we were all at a possibility of getting ready to lose our jobs. You know, indefinitely. You know what I mean? Until he got back in office and started, you know, trying to put some of these laws into effect. You know what I mean? So, DJ Shiny D, give us your last words on this issue.
Well, like I said, I do think that that the media does a lot of fear mongering, where people who watch the news and get their information from the news, they're a little bit more fearful because of all the analysts and everything in the news. This job is to get ratings. So you got to think of it like that. I suggest that anyone that can go and read the actual bill.
Right.
Learn the words, know what it is saying. Of course, there's going to be some red tape. Of course, there are going to be some people that's going to use the new system to their advantage. You know, but Black people do it too.
Exactly.
We have done it. That's why, you know, I think it's a beautiful thing that he is saying, okay, if you're not a U.S. citizen, you got to go home. You just can't walk in here and get benefits and get, you know, SNAP benefits and insurance and stuff. You can't do that. You got to go. I'm okay. I think that he could have he shouldn't have done away with the clean energy bill and a lot of the clean energy programs, but it will work out for me. And I'm not being trying to be selfish, but it should work out for me because when they were saying that all cars got to be electric before 2035, that it was going to cause a problem with us
Yeah,
as
see,
in
and
the
that was the
auto
Democrats
industry.
who issued that bullshit in with
Yeah,
the
because
emission test.
yeah, and it was causing companies a lot of lost revenue because you saying that they got to switch over to electric vehicles. So it should be good for the auto industry, hopefully. Um, I just want to be on a wait and see. I don't want to pick a side yet, but I'm gonna just tell you, as reading the bill, it wasn't as scary as people made it out to be. They
Right.
made it seem
Yeah.
like I can just come and pick me up and take my house and deport me and all that. Just listening to Black people because they're so fearful of Donald Trump. But as
Hmm.
in reading it, I did not see so much fear. We're gonna have some things that are gonna have to be rectified because you're not gonna be able to not have kids not eating.
Right.
You're not going to be able to have kids not getting some kind of insurance if they need insurance. So I know they're going to tighten up on that, and I think that's just to weed out the riffraff. But hopefully, if it doesn't work, then he's man enough to say, "Okay, it's not working. Let's revise that."
Right.
So,
Now,
so let's just wait and see. Let's continue to do what we do every day, work hard, save our money, be good citizens, and let's just pray for everybody. How about
Okay.
that?
See, and I agree with each and every one of y'all. At the end of the day, DJ Shiny D hit it on the nose. I think they're just tightening up. They're tired of, and we all should be tired, because we pay the taxes on this. I think all able working body people should be out there working. You know what I mean? Not receiving SNAP benefits or any of that. I'm not saying for the women
Yeah.
or the men who still may need them, who's working and still can't afford to feed their kids. I'm not talking about that. We're talking about the able-bodied people that's been out here, like I said, making 20, 30-year careers of, receiving these benefits and not working. You know what I mean? That's the shit that we're talking about.
people,
So at the end of the day, I think it's going to benefit the working class people somewhat. We'll be able to get some type of, tax deductions on, on taxes or whatever, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, certain things will be tightened up. We will get certain deductions, but for the most part, I think it's just scare tactics that, like DJ Shiny D was saying, that, you hear to try to scare, a lot of Black folks, and not to wanting this bill to go into effect or not wanting this to happen, so at the end of the day, I think it'll be a good thing for everybody, especially the working class, and even
Yeah.
for the unable working bodies. It'll allow them to get up, and get, their career started, why wait, because they've been waiting. So it'll make them get up and get out there and get it like the rest of us.
Yeah.
So Joseph knows. Let everybody know what you got going on and where they can reach you.
Again, don't have a page. You can always find me on Facebook. Send me a message. We can discuss or whatever. Joseph Knows on Facebook.
There we
YouTube,
go. There we
I ain't
go.
got there yet. All right.
Big Dave, let everybody know what you got going on and where they can reach you.
oh, you can get me on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Real Talk Wit, WIT, Big Dave. You can get me on Facebook, Big Dave Crawford.
Okay, for sure, for sure. And last but not least, DJ Shiny D, let everybody know what you got going on and where they can reach you.
But right now, I've been a bum because I've been off on week. I've been off all week on shutdown. So it's been lovely just to be at home, working in the garden, just
Mm.
doing stuff around the house. You know what I mean? I'm getting to the point where I don't want to be in these streets no more, for real.
Right. Well, you
And
better have.
so, and I do want to add this before I get off. I do want to add, it sounds like a bill of accountability
Right.
where people are going to be accountable. So it should be more accountability throughout. So that's all I got to say. Catch me in the wind.
Okay, and that's what's up. And I want to thank each and every one of you guys for coming
Okay.
on the show. It's always a pleasure when you guys come on. And I wish Dorinda could have joined us. I
If you
definitely
want to
wanted to
talk
hear
to
her
Joe,
input
yeah,
and
yeah.
her
You want
thoughts
to
on
talk
this,
to
but
Joe.
maybe we'll get her next time. Yeah.
Why?
So,
Why me?
but hey, definitely, it was definitely a pleasure to have you guys on. I enjoyed the conversation. It was good talk, but like I said, it's just like you said, DJ Shanity, it's just a tighten up, and it's just going to
Tighten
make
up.
all
Yep.
the people who've been sitting around on their ass get up and get at it, like how we've been doing for years.
For sure.
Yeah.
Real talk.
100%.
All right,
Mhm.
so I don't have anything else to add to this. If you guys do, you can add something. If not, I'm gonna go ahead and close out.
All right.
All
Peace
right,
out.
well, it's been a good one. It's your boy Dame D, and we are out.
See
Peace.
you later. Yeah.
All right, y'all.